everybody. This is Amy with Rose Wellness Center for Integrative Medicine in Oakton, Virginia. And joining us today is Elizabeth McMillan, who is our integrative nutritionist and health coach and also a registered dietitian. And she is going to speak with us about finding your calm.
Thank you, Amy, for that introduction. Welcome, everyone. As Amy said, I am the nutritionist and health coach for Rose Wellness. I've been with Rose Wellness for a number of years now, and I'm excited to be, a part of our membership program. I'm excited to be a part of the Rose Wellness staff, and just to be a resource for all of you out there, especially during this crazy time. And as Dr. Harani and I and Amy as well, we all put together kind of these calendars, these ideas of what we want to do, for the center as itself. And now with this pandemic going on, things have changed a little bit, but that's okay because we can change with it. And really, Dr. Harani and I thought that this would be a perfect time to discuss finding your calm and what does that mean, and how to kind of embrace this crazy time and find maybe some positivities out of it, and really focus on, coping with stress, dealing with stress, and making some sort of stress reduction a daily activity, whether it's just everyday life stressors or, again, this global pandemic that we are in. So I want to first start and go over what are the symptoms of stress. And some of these may, be, kind of repetitive and things. However, it's important to know that stress can be emotional, it can be physical, cognitive, behavioral. It can really affect every aspect of our daily well-being, our wellness, our health. And it almost always, if you look on any Google search of any symptom, disease, stress, and complications of stress usually are somewhere on, that list of symptomology, or that list of things that cause the symptoms to increase in that disease. So stress is a very, very important component of our life. The emotional aspects of stress could be, easily agitated, frustrated, moodiness, feeling overwhelmed, or depressed even, or lonely, feeling just that worthlessness feeling, and then just having difficult time like relaxing or settling our mind, wanting to avoid others. Some physical aspects of it could be our energy, changes, having low energy, headaches, digestive and stomach, relations. If you've ever had a conversation with me, I always hit on digestive wellness, because our stress and our digestive wellness are so interconnected. But then also, chest pains and muscle aches and problems with sleep, frequent colds and poor immunity. There's cognitive reactions of this constant worrying or racing thoughts, and then inability to focus and have poor judgment. And then just being in that negative kind of attitude. And then, of course, then the behavioral signs, which are, changes in eating, whether some of us don't want to eat at all while we're stressed. Some of us crave some of those stress foods or those comfort foods. You may resort to, recreational, alcohol or drugs or something to help ease the mind. And then just exhibiting maybe nervous habits such as constantly fidgeting or nail biting or itching, other things like that. So there's so many symptoms of stress, and a lot of times it can go overlooked of just being, oh, that's just my normal. But it's really important to get, understand where these are coming from and then get a handle of it. The consequences then of long-term stress is, again, mental health problems, cardiovascular issues, obesity, menstrual problems with their hormones. I have so many, especially couples that come in and part of their infertility problems are actual stress. It's not hormonal. It's not a problem of sperm count, but it's just the stress and the anxiety of it all that they can't, their bodies aren't allowing them to make children and go forth that. So, and then, it also then goes with skin. And like I said, that itchiness or irritation, autoimmune diseases and things. And really, I don't want to think of stress necessarily as a bad thing, because it is put in place to protect us. Our bodies were so well made. However, it's this long-term stress of not being able to say, okay, I'm in this stressful condition. Yes, I need to deal with it. But it's that constant worriment, that constant feeling of stress and tightness that really leads to all these long-term problems. Normal instances of stress, like there's a pandemic going on. Okay, I need to, get my head on gear. I need to focus. Or, hey, I've got, some bills to pay and I need to, put my life in order to, prioritize that. Yes, that's normal. That's a fight or flight response. We're supposed to have it. We constantly think of, the lion chasing after me scenario. That's normal stress. Quick lion after me. Okay, I've resolved it. I fixed it. It's gone. The lion is away, or the lion's at the zoo, back in the cage. Not a problem anymore. It's this long-term reaction. And doing things on a daily basis to help with these long-term stresses, like this global pandemic, like work, family, things that come up, that's what we want to talk about today. And kind of bridging into there, I want to go over the techniques for stress reduction. There we go. And this, there's a lot. There's a lot that we can really discuss here. There's so many things, and I'm going to touch on a lot of things. The main idea, though, is to find what resonates with you. What resonates with me, what my stress reduction technique might not be the same for you, might not be the same for your partner or your children. And you have to just figure out and play with some of these techniques to find what works for you. And know that as with the seasons are changing, your stress techniques might change. And we might have to constantly, not necessarily reinvent the wheel, but make sure that we're doing something on a day-to-day basis to keep up with these stressors. Some of the things that we're going to talk about is, of course, diet, because I'm a nutritionist and I always do food first. But exercise, social activities, environmental things, breathing, so many different ideas. So first off, if we talk about diet, there are considered some superfoods for stress. These are foods that may have higher amounts of your phytonutrients, or think of them as like your plant defense mechanisms. Those are what are considered phytonutrients that specifically help with our hormones, with our digestion, and really have been shown to just completely reduce anxiety. Some of these superfoods might include like your root vegetables. A lot of them help ease your cortisols, or your stress hormone that we talk about all the time. Some of them might be rich in B vitamins that, again, help with the biochemistry of stress. Because, again, stress isn't just, oh, that's that event happening, but it is a biochemical response in our body. And then some of the other kind of support nutrients that we need to help deal with some of that. So, there's really, it's all of your colorful fruits and vegetables. Here's a nice list to kind of get you started. And we found, and there's actually really good research, one of the areas that I really love focusing on. And one day when I decide to write my book on nutrition and diet, this will probably be a big highlight of the chapter, will be foods and the research that supports how it reduces stress. Looking at some of the research, we know that certain foods increase, that stressful biochemical reaction, and we know that certain foods decrease those. So what are the foods that decrease them? What not to eat during a stressful time? These foods can cause more anxiety. They cause that we're constantly, like I said, this biochemical or this hormonal component. We need to allow our stress hormones to come up. We eat something that helps bring them down, but then it's constant, like that addiction, or that constant need for more. To bring the stress hormone down, we need more. To bring the stress hormone down, we need more. And a lot of these foods, a lot of your comfort foods, whether it be your fine sugar, your brownies, your cookies, maybe fast food, maybe highly processed like dairy products, alcohol, as well, your fried foods. I think of them as like your country fair foods. A lot of that is what causes, yes, for that short bit, your anxiety might come down a little bit, but every time you're going to need more. And then you're going to need more, like any other type of addiction out there. So we want to try to limit these, try to have more of these foods, these colorful fruits and vegetables, and less of kind of these, we call them also, white, brown foods. They're not very colorful typically. I do have on here a stress relief salad that you might want to take advantage of. Some of the, broccoli is coming into season right now, as we're heading into spring, and it just this kind of brightly colored stress fighting nutrients, with the limes from all the phytonutrients from that, from the broccoli I mentioned, and then of course the avocados, the omega-3 might be something nice to add in to your meals if you can find the ingredients right now. And then that's kind of more of like the food basis, and I can always answer any questions you may have later, or you can reach out to me at a later time for any more food reactions. Here's another kind of recipe that I like. I always have muffins on hand, mainly because I have a 2-year-old who's hungry every 10 minutes, and I make muffins, but then I put them in a mini size, and they're an easy snack for him. But then again, you're getting a lot of these phytonutrients for some of these things, so always a good thing to have healthy snacks on hand as well. And then as we kind of bridge over to other ideas, another area that I love focusing on is exercise. Now, it doesn't have to be a traditional gym workout. I mean, right now I can't go to the gym. The gyms are closed, which is a good thing, social distancing. However, any movement is good. And whether it's 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, some sort of movement. When, recently, I actually live in Ohio right now, and lately it's been gray and raining almost every single day. This is the first day I have sunshine out, and after our meeting today, I'm going to go outside and walk in the sunshine. But what we've decided to do as a family is that every 2 hours, we have our Alexa go off and say, hey, get up and move. So, because it's very easy to, sit and watch TV or get into work mode, do something. So as long as we can, we try to have a reminder that says, get up and do something. So whether it's doing, some jumping jacks or a dance party or taking the dog for a walk, some sort of movement. I love exercise. I've always been very, as long as I get my exercise in and my throughout the week, I feel good. So, I try to do things. There's a lot of free online things you can do right now. A lot of things like some of the people I follow, even like Glow Body PT, and I know Beachbody and Insanity, they're all giving like free or discounted things during COVID-19. So take advantage of that. And then there's tons of free stuff on YouTube, Pinterest, just anything to get moving. And it doesn't have to be some sort of, I'm going to get fit and I'm going to, do a marathon or do an Ironman. It's good for the brain, good for the mind, and really good, again, for that biochemical reaction of stress. This is a great 10-minute workout that, you can do as well. Classic things like, squats or jumping, planks, things like that just, again, work the whole body. You're moving your mind, you're moving your body. Great ideas to kind of do, again, throughout. And like I said, you can Google quick 10-minute body workouts, and I'm sure you'll come up with billions of hits online. The other area of exercise that I really like is yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates. I love Pilates. Every time I do Pilates, I feel taller, which is great because, I'm like 5'2" on a good day. So I love doing things like that. The whole point of yoga is it's a series of movements, stationary poses that incorporate your breath. So not only are you stretching and twisting, but you're trying to get a hold of our breath. And I'm going to get more into breathing later, but it's important to connect our breath with our movement. And there's so many variations with the different types of yoga. There's a gentle kind of flow that I might do in the evening. There's yoga for beginners. There's more of like hot and sweaty yoga. There's vinyasa or relaxed. Then there's power yoga where you get like kind of a workout in. And you just kind of constantly, every day that I do any yoga, I like, okay, how am I feeling today? What kind of yoga do I want to do? Or what time of day is it? I might do an energizing morning, whether it's a 5-minute routine or a 45-minute routine. I try to get some sort of, again, movement in there. The Tai Chi is fantastic. It's also similar to yoga. I can tell I'm not as well practiced in Tai Chi. I've dabbled in it here and there. It's something that I would like to explore, but it has been meant, again, to connect breathing with movement and calm the mind. And then, again, as Pilates, as I said, always makes you feel taller, but it does really engage strength, flexibility. I also found that when I was doing Pilates more, I felt more toned than even, I've done all types of exercises. I've lifted, I've CrossFit, I've ran, I've done it all. But the time when I'm like, ooh, I look great for summer arms is when I do Pilates. That's me. That's my body type. Again, not sure for everyone, but it's a good way to connect strength with breath work and flexibility. And the beauty of any of these exercises is that we can really do them at all ages. I have my 2-year-old doing downward dogs and child poses with me when I do my yoga. But then I've also, have my grandmother. She's starting to do some more yoga to help out with some back pain. It's really versatile for any age, and you can kind of find what fits for you. And even if you are having any ailments and things, there's specific yoga and Pilates, Tai Chi exercises that you can find for you that might be seated or might be in bed or, designed for, hey, I've got a bad rotator cuff or a bad knee. So you can really define it specifically towards your needs as well. The other area I love, and I've done this a lot, is martial arts. Martial arts is great for any stress reduction. I used to have a punching bag in my basement, and we're going to be moving soon, and I will be putting another punching bag in the house somewhere, just because it's fun, it's exciting, it's fast-paced, it gets a lot of energy out, it's really good for the mind. Again, there's a lot of different styles of different types of martial arts. I've always done kickboxing, but, there's Krav Maga, karate, taekwondo, so many different things. And again, it's brain, breath, and movement. Really, the movement comes secondary to focusing on what moves are you actually doing. Like I said, it feels good, great stress reduction. And you can then maybe even pick up some self-defense techniques, which can always make you feel safer and stronger as well. So it's kind of like a win-win in that area. Getting out in the great outdoors and trying not to be connected to maybe your phone or Wi-Fi or something, but just getting outside. Right now the only area that's not closed is the outdoors. So if you are able maybe to go on a hike or just sit in your yard, if you have a pet, maybe sit in your yard with your dog and read a book. Maybe go to the lake, just don't touch any playground equipment, but really just getting outside, getting that natural sunshine, that natural vitamin D, and grounding yourself to earth. And I don't mean that in a woohoo, I'm going to find my peace and calm grounding way. There's something about the energetic feel that we do get from actually being around earth, being away from all of the lights, the technology, the Wi-Fi, and, just getting in touch and actually smelling the roses, taking time to, breathe in the sunshine, breathe in that air, and really, kind of get deep in that. It's where, my other happy place is sitting on a beach. Well, can't sit on a beach right now, especially in Ohio. But, ideally getting outside, getting that natural air is going to be so important for you, and to try to leave your stressors wherever else they may be, because this is, time to be around yourself. Another area, and this kind of encompasses a lot, is finding a flow state or a creative outlet, kind of in anxiety. And this is very much, again, kind of measured on a personal level. Finding what fulfills you. For some, it might be painting. It might be reading a fun book, not a work intensive, like, I read all these biochemistry books and diet books and things. That's not exactly fun reading. But, maybe rereading a Harry Potter or, reading a trashy novel, that can be kind of fun. Or art, some people are very artistic. Art personally stresses me out because I'm a perfectionist and I'm not artistic, but my husband loves to draw. So he's trying to draw here and there. So, trying to find some flow or some creative outlet. It could be needlepoint. It could be gardening is a creative outlet. Something that's not going to cause anxiety. That's not going to be a DIY intense project, but just to escape and leave out. My dad loves building, those train, track things. And I swear he would turn his whole basement into a model train thing. That's his creative outlet. And we're just like, okay, if it's going to keep you calm, great. Again, it's whatever resonates with you. And trying to take that time throughout the weeks to say, okay, this is my creative time. This is my outlet. This is my time that isn't necessarily work or family oriented, but something that I can be joyful of, creative with. Again, it's springtime, maybe getting out in the garden and growing your vegetables or your colorful flowers. That would be kind of a beautiful, or, anything else, getting whatever it may be. And there's so many, the possibilities are endless. Taking a dance break. This is another great outlet. If you've ever watched Grey's Anatomy and they do the crazy dance, or my son, again, he loves dancing right now. So we just take time and we dance all silly, and it's not to necessarily pretty dancing because I have no rhythm, but it's fun just to let your hair down and dance. Put on some fun music, some uplifting music. Again, right now my life is around like Frozen and Disney songs, and songs from the Minions are happy. And so those are the things that I'm listening to because I have a young one. But whatever music kind of resonates with you, and just dancing out, shaking it out, literally shaking it out, dancing it out is a great idea. Really relieve some stress and kind of get your body going as well. And there's actually been, again, studies done on dance, laughter, and releasing some of that for stress reducing techniques there. There's mindfulness and meditation. This is a tough one. Honestly, for me. I'm a terrible meditator. I've tried. I constantly am trying, but it's a practice. It's not something that you can say, wake up and say, I'm going to meditate today. It's something you have to practice, like any sport, any skill, focusing, honing in. There's a lot of really good resources right now that are, again, offering either, free services or free, exposés into like their members only section. Like this, the mindless bell, they use like a gong bell sound. It's really peaceful, and it's 5 minutes to try to get you in tune. There's a lot of, again, things on like, Audible and Kindle, and a lot of the apps like Breathe and Calm, Insight. They have a lot of free things, but then they're also offering extra freebies during this time too. So take advantage of that. I have some of the other ones listed that I've tried in the past. I'm continuing to try because I want to get better at it. But again, know that you can't sit down and say, okay, I'm going to meditate for the next 45 minutes and feel success if you've never done it before. That can almost be more stress inducing. It's like if you've ever done yoga, and that final pose, Shavasana, of lying flat, sometimes that's the hardest pose because it's hard to turn off our mind. So again, it takes practice. Trying to kind of, again, control. And that's where some of these movement ideas, some of these getting out in nature or finding your flow ideas can help you get kind of better in tune with that as well. But it takes time. So allow yourself that time, allow yourself that practice, and kind of making, kind of a routine of it, something, to try to practice, and just like you would be practicing an instrument to learn how to play. The next is focused breathing. So focused breathing is, again, something really important. Typically, we don't take time to breathe throughout the day. And I know that sounds like, what are you talking about? We're all breathing. Yes, you're breathing to survive. But how often do you take a nice, rejuvenating, real breath? We're constantly just go, 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 breathing, as needed when we need it, but really energizing the lungs, taking in good, healthy air, focused breathing. I always say, even if you're not doing any necessary exercise, that connect breathing with movement, maybe at any red light you come to, try to take a deep breath, or trying some of these breathing techniques, like there's the equal breathing where, you might count for 4, exhale for 4, kind of control. This is a nice, good start. Then, you might get deeper and say, okay, hold for 6 or hold for 8, and then release for 6, release for 8. And this is very important to just kind of, again, allow good movement of your lung muscle, and then, adding in that healthy air as well. Progressive breathing kind of works on breathing into certain parts of the body. So it's slightly like a meditation as well. So you might start with your toes and kind of release. Or I do this a lot. I get some sinus headaches in my neck from numerous injuries when I was a teenager. And so I try to breathe into my neck, breathe into my traps, and then breathe into kind of my whole head space, kind of slowly and incremental. And that focusing on one muscle group and releasing it really helps with, again, this focused breathing aspect, but then releasing that tension in some of those muscles. 4-7-8 breathing is, again, one of my favorite things. They use this a lot actually with childbirth. So remember the, kind of aspect that, it's, again, involving kind of holding and then, releasing it out, and really kind of reducing anxiety. It especially helps with sleep as well. So it's a good thing to do some of these breathing techniques while you're getting ready for bed, even while you're laying in bed, kind of ready to close your eyes for the night. It's a good time to try some of these techniques. And again, there's so many things available online. I have a lot of resources as well that you can kind of look into and finding some of these breathing techniques. The big point, though, is to remember to take time and maybe do a breath work, once throughout the day or something, just because, again, we don't do that for ourselves. We just kind of breathe to live, not really breathe for wellness, for rejuvenation. So that's why I really like these ideas. My other favorite thing is aromatherapy. So I don't think you can see it, but I have a essential oil, mister behind me. So I have some throughout my phone. I love essential oils. I love fresh herbs too. I also keep a canvas bag of dried lavender. It smells delicious. And using aromatherapy, using some of those, biobotanicals as well, can really show to alleviate stress. I've been using lavender since I was a little girl. I think my mom gave it to me. I had a lot of test anxiety, and she would sneak a tissue with some lavender oil in my, my little shirt sleeve, even in, middle school and in high school, and then definitely throughout college I had it. And, I've always been a huge fan of lavender. And you can use essential oils in a lot of different ways. You can use fresh herbs, dried herbs, like in this, or a fresh, plant. You can use them as, put them on a cotton swab, or again, kind of a diffuser. Besides lavender, there's a lot of others out there, like rosemary. Rosemary really helps reduce stress. I love getting the big bunches of rosemary when I can find them at the grocery store, and I'll just smell them. And, the produce guy's like, is this girl doing? Is she like wafting in the rosemary? And again, I do try to plant some rosemary as well, but it helps reduce cortisol levels and it really calms the brain. It's also fantastic for focus. So especially if you do know anyone with test anxiety or presentation anxiety, rosemary really helps kind of calm and focus. Ylang ylang is also something that promotes calmness and stress. It has a nice kind of, I think, a clean smell. It's not overpowering. It's just kind of weird to say, ylang ylang. Lemon oil, lemon balm, both of those are really good. Really, any of your citrus as well are really good as an antidepressant or a pick-me-up. They help boost your energy throughout the day. And again, it could be adding lemon to, your salad or your water, smelling that rind, as you're peeling it or so, anything like that. There's a lot of essential oils out there. There's a lot of biobotanicals out there. It's finding what works really best for you. There's a lot of combinations out there. I'm not about to push any certain essential oil, or if you get it as fresh herbs, either of those are really good. Just make sure that you're using a clean source, because they can, if you are doing more of an essential oil, they can be not necessarily pure, and you want to make sure that you're getting a pure form of that. So if you do have any questions on it, I'm happy to answer those privately. And again, everyone has their personal opinions on the essential oils. Another way for stress reduction, though, is to get it all out, to journal. And this isn't like, dear diary, this is what happened, but it could be a gratitude journal. It could be saying, I'm thankful for these 5 things today. It could be, just a way to express your feelings and say, hey, this is what happened. And then you can, physically get it out off your chest, literally. And, some people even get it out and then burn it. Be careful. Don't start a small house fire. But some people, it really does help to physically, get it out of your system and get rid of it. Throw it in the trash, or, burn it, or do whatever. You rip it up, tear it up. And just because so much of the time we hold on to these thoughts, and we don't want to necessarily talk to ourselves, or, talk to a partner or a therapist or a friend. Sometimes these things are hard to talk about, but physically getting them out, cleansing the whole body of that is a very, powerful statement to do. Again, it could be journaling, it could be talk therapy, it could be, wine night with the girls, or, it could be, pickup game of basketball with the guys that, I know men out there, I don't know if any men are listening today, but I know that they're typically not one to talk about their feelings, but that, getting it out there, having that locker room talk, that's very important. And instead of holding it on, because if we're holding it on, it's just something else that's building and burning inside of us. And we want to release that out. And then again, there's so much more. I could go on forever to really discuss, so many things. I've already touched along some of the things that I like to do, or that I've incorporated, or that have really good sound research. But there's so much more that we can do. And the whole point of this is, yes, you have this checklist, or you have this idea of you could try all of these things. That's not necessarily the point. The point is to find maybe 1 or 2 that resonate with you, and make it a daily habit. Not saying that, okay, I'm going to get to that when I get to it, but really say, okay, I'm going to start off today, and I'm going to, maybe it might be, I'm going to do a quick, energizing yoga stretch in the morning, might be 10 minutes. And then, have your day, work. And you might have an alarm that goes off, mid-afternoon. If that's your stressful time, and just say, okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes to do a breathing exercise. And that could be your stress reduction for the day. And that's fantastic. Or you might want to try all of these if you have more time on your hands. But again, it's important to find what resonates with you and making it a habit. I'm constantly saying, as mammals, we strive for ritual. We strive for habitual things, for ritualistic things. It's just what we do. I mean, if I don't feed my dog at a certain time, he's scratching, my hand or the side of my bed saying, excuse me, wake up. This is my time. You're supposed to, wake up and do this. Mammals like routine. So add this into your routine. Just as you would wash your face, brush your teeth, take your vitamins, this is something for yourself. And it doesn't have to be a long, hour-long, meditation. Something short to start with. Or maybe it's, I'm going to try to, exercise a few days a week and build from there. But trying to add that, create a routine, especially in this crazy time. I know a lot of us are working from home and our routines are so gone, and we have children running around and we're trying to take care of our older parents and try to deliver them food or whatever it may be. We have a lot going on, but still having some semblance of routine during this time will help kind of keep you stable, keep you on, because then it gets to the point that, you look at the clock and you're like, oh, well, it's 1:00 and I still haven't showered or really done anything today. That's not making the most out of this time. Try to take this time to, incorporate some of these things. So that way, when life does get back to normal, which it will, we're all banking on that. It will get back to normal, maybe in a month, maybe in a few months. But when life does get back to normal, we're still going to have those daily stressors. Those don't go away. Can't magically, wash them away with my magic wand. But it's important to have these techniques grounded so that way you can utilize these on a day-to-day basis and it's not something new. And then again, you might find, some things are working, some things are not. You might want to change it up, constantly adding new things or switching with the seasons. That's a good thing too. In the winter time, I'm not going to necessarily go for a run or go smell the flowers. So I have to switch it up a little bit. Now it's spring and I can hear the birds coming and life is starting to reform. I've got the grass went from brown to green overnight, which is beautiful, and taking that time to enjoy that. And then switching it up. In the summer it's going to be so hot, so I'm going to have to switch up when I'm going to be outside, and that's okay. That's okay to have flexibility, but as long as you're doing something on a day-to-day basis that says, okay, this is for me, this is what keeps me grounded, this is what keeps my biochemical hormones level, that's what we want to do. So again, picking something that resonates with you, there's a ton of things, I could have touched on so many more, but I wanted to give you some idea, some semblance of finding your calm during this crazy time. So today I really want to thank you for coming and listening to this, and try to take one thing away from this experience. Try to take one thing away from this conversation that's like, okay, that crazy nutritionist health coach said, let me do this. I will be, that person on your shoulder saying, try this. And then reach out to us. Let us know, what's working, what's not working, and then kind of we can go from there. I really just want to thank you for taking the time to look over this. And, please just, again, utilize all of Rose Wellness as kind of a resource. And we're happy to kind of serve you in any way that we can.